Most visibly, we age rapidly. People today look much older than they used to when I began my work 50 years ago as of 3 weeks ago. This is my 50th year, 1970. I began working a bit and studying a lot in this field. 1975, joined the team of Hippocrates. We were then in Boston. And moved the institute in 1987 down to Florida. We finally figured out that the North wasn't a nice place to be. It was cold, it was rainy, it was cloudy, and it was consistent. You lived for the summer. Oh my God, June's going to come. And June was cold and cloudy and rainy. And then July and August burned you. And by September, boom, just like 25-year-old men off the cliff. So we've got to start educating people. So the book I wrote is really for you, the public worldwide, but it's written in a way, I have a whole lot of chunky science in the back. So the eggheads, as I call them, who really love to endow themselves with other people's research, they can read it and learn about this subject, which is powerfully important stuff. Because it's breaking up marriages. As I mentioned about 3 minutes ago, the leaders in the world are having this menopause, and I would actually render to believe most of them have it very deeply and very severely. And their chests are out, and they're barking and yelling and creating wars, not with their children, with you, and literally sabotaging humanity's future from this one. And women are watching this and thinking it's their fault. Must be me that did it. This was the very reason we wrote this book. Why does this matter? Now, I'm not going to ask you to raise your hands because I'm sure every one of you would raise your hand that has a partner. But in most relationships, overwhelmingly, there's discord. How many of you recognize when you ask the man to join you, to help you, he's reluctant in doing that? Now, if he understood and if he was educated that maybe the fuel wasn't there to give them the same incentive, the same energy, the same vitality and virility that he had 10 years earlier, or 5 years, or 20 years earlier, that could be discussed. But he feels bad about himself, so he closes up like a what? Like a clam. So when men basically are asked how you're doing, we have a stock answer. Good. But your leg's cut off. Good. Your eyeball popped out. Good. We don't talk to other men about it. Women, thank God, have an outlet called friends. And you talk. You talk. Men bark at one another. Are you ready to admit that you have the desire but not the fuel to do it? So what I'm telling you is not a personal opinion. I'm giving you hardcore science. We are absolutely as virile as a man could possibly be at 19, at 25. The light shut off, and it gets dimmer and dimmer and dimmer. And every other ad on television worldwide now is erectile dysfunction. Do you have erectile dysfunction? And it used to be men were the ones that were cheating. Thank God women are out there cheating now because they have a husband with erectile dysfunction. Now in our 7th decade, we've been looking at this, and our psychotherapy team has found ways to help you understand this. So rather than say you have a problem, there's ways to correct this. I'm exposing the concern now, but I'm going to tell you there's ways to correct this. And the reality is there's incredible data on this from the natural world. And the more we delved into this, we were pleasantly surprised that people are coming back to full virility and full functionality by, number one, changing their lifestyle, dietary habits, exercise habits, and more important, to expeditiously do that with certain sets of herbs, etc. So how many of you know a guy like this? Everything's bad. Everything's negative. This is a glass half what? Empty. It's always empty. Honey, do you want to go on a ride? Nah. Honey, do you want? Nah. Remember, men are programmed to say no. No. Women are programmed to say yes. None of that's right, by the way. Both work and personal relationships depend upon us correcting this problem. This is a big problem. We would go as far to say that many of the social and international abnormalities today come from men who are literally what we used to say about women, on the rag. Or the men are on the rag. But we get away with it because it looks like we're bold and tough when we bark. If women bark, what happens? Oh, they're not ladylike. Maybe they need to bark at us sometimes. Maybe they need to say something's quite wrong. So we go around barking and getting acknowledgement from being good barkers.